सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, देखना है जोर कितना बाजुए कातिल में है। ए शहीद मुल्क मिल्लत मैं तेरे ऊपर निसार, अब तेरी हिम्मत का चर्चा गैर की महफिल में है। वक्त आने पे बता देंगे तुझे है आसमां, हम अभी से क्या बताए क्या हमारे दिल में है। With these energetic lines by Ram Prasad Bismil, good morning to one and all present here. My name is Genius Sheth, a second year BTech student. It is a great honor for me to stand here in front of you all to commemorate the 76th Independence Day. First of all, I would like to invite Professor Amit Prashant, Director IIT Gandhinagar, to hoist our national flag.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंग, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंग। तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मागे, गाहे तव जय गाथा। जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे, जय 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 हे।
I would now request Professor Amit Prashant, Director IIT Gandhinagar, to address the audience on this auspicious occasion.
Dear friends, a very good morning and happy Independence Day. We have been discussing and listening on various forums. We completed 75 years, and I'm sure you must have also reviewed how we have done over 75 years. There are several successes that we have always, you can say, observed, may or may not have celebrated. There are several failures that we have seen and we corrected those. Successes and failures are part of life, of course, but the question really is that where we started 75 years back, what was the vision, what was the aspiration? Have we walked on that line? My assessment, and probably you will all agree with that, that we have always surpassed all those expectations. Our expectations have always been there with certain, you can say, minimum requirement, that is, with vast country, diverse country that we have. But at the same time, with all those aspects of our country where we see more challenges than opportunities, our expectations get calibrated. But why is it that we have been able to surpass those expectations and do better than that? That is a question that we have to answer to ourselves. So for instance, recently we saw a pandemic hitting the world. The expectation at the beginning of the pandemic, if you remember, the world was concerned about India. India was concerned about India. What happened in the end? Probably India did better than many countries in terms of managing the pandemic as well as the vaccination process. How was that possible? It's people. People are grounded. They don't talk too much. But at the same time, when it comes to deliver, they do deliver. And that spirit of people, that spirit of tolerance, celebrating diversity, and caring about their country, caring about their people, can achieve so much that we have always been able to cross the aspirations. Now, the question is that we have reached a stage where earlier it was expectation of survival, expectation of unity, expectation of a stable democracy, expectation of a good health system, education system. That was all with respect to the minimum expectations that we had to build our country from scratch, almost scratch, and reach a point where we can have a good life for everyone in this country. But is that the aspiration today? That is the question. Now, I'm sure you will all agree the tables are turning now. The world, who was always looking at us with whether they will survive, they will be okay, now they are looking at us to provide leadership. With the kind of collaborations, the work that ISRO has done, the kind of work our health system has done recently and in the past too, the kind of leadership the IIT graduates have provided world over, that is past. Now the expectation has risen. We will provide ways and means of how the world is going to shape tomorrow. Now, how are we going to achieve that? Now, that is the question we are looking at. It is not a question of survival anymore. It is the question of leadership. It is the question of how our young generation is going to stand up and do not only the way we have developed ourselves based on that, but with the imagination that is going to shape tomorrow. That puts a lot of responsibility on us. We have to think afresh. We have to think new ways of how the life should be for everyone. Not only in the country, around the world now. The vocabulary is changing. The vocabulary is changing from what can I do in this country to what can I do for the world. Now that aspiration is going to be there. We are all going to be part of that journey. Now we have to find our place in that journey to understand and contribute to whatever we can do in that whole process of next few years or several years. As far as this institute is concerned, we have been growing with a long-term vision, building the teams, faculty, staff, students. Our alumni have been now spreading all around the world, including, of course, our country. And we can see the traces of their leadership in different parts of the country and part of the world. We have to grow this. But at the same time, is that enough? That is another question we have to answer to ourselves. Those are the things we had envisioned when we started this institute. We have built the teams, we have built the systems to achieve that. But now we have a moving target. We have next level of aspiration. That, of course, that is a given, that we will have the most innovative education system, which will be emulated by many others around the world tomorrow. And we will work on that. But that is not the only agenda. Now this institute and many other institutes in the country are looked upon now with the solutions for tomorrow. Be it solution in building the emotions of this country, or be it technology solutions for tomorrow. It's not education only. Of course, we need to work on education as well. But the aspiration and the expectation from the Institute of Education is much more than that. How will that be possible? That is another question we have to answer ourselves. Will the methods of tomorrow be same as methods of past? We have to think about that. We thought earlier that if we are doing something, that will go somewhere. Probably we need to be more strategic about it now, because there is no example to follow. We have to imagine our own destiny. We have to imagine our own path to reach there. And that means we have to be much more strategic and also be accepting to if there are hurdles, there are failures on the way. Following what we learned in the past is a beautiful thing we should do. There is no question about it. We should learn from the history and we should follow whatever is the best way to go forward. But at the same time, imagination has to be there for what we want to do in future as a world leader, in whatever sector, whatever sense we want to see, we want to look at. But that means also that whatever we do, as a student tomorrow, we are going to be part of some community where we will be contributing. As an institute, faculty, staff, we have to be thinking our role in this whole process. Now, if the aspiration is changing, if the imagination has to be there, we have to be more strategic about it. I would request all of us to think afresh. What is my strategy for tomorrow? Why is it what we want? Have we answered that question? If we walk with our imagination and our strategy, there is no way we will not do better and better. And our aspiration when we say we provide leadership is not to rule over anybody, is to help everybody. As a leader, the people around the world should see us as these are the people who will show us the light, show us the way forward. So friends, let's think about this. With this thought, I'll leave you with all the imagination and once again, congratulate you for completing 75 years and wish you all the best for years ahead. Thank you.